I didn't use my daughter's college fund for my stepson's rehab. My husband came home from work last Tuesday with this look on his face that I knew meant trouble. He'd been on the phone with his ex-wife all afternoon about Caleb, his 24-year-old son. Caleb had overdosed again, 4th time this year, and this time they found him passed out in some gas station bathroom with a needle still hanging out of his arm. I was making dinner when my husband sat down at the kitchen table and just stared at me. My daughter Emma was upstairs doing homework, completely unaware of what was about to happen. He cleared his throat and said they needed $30,000 for an inpatient rehab program. 60 days. Some fancy place up in the mountains that supposedly had better success rates. I stopped stirring the pasta sauce and turned around. $30,000. We'd already blown through almost $14,000 on outpatient programs that didn't work because Caleb either didn't show up or relapsed the second he got out. I'd personally paid $1,000 for his first detox, thinking maybe this time would be different. Then my husband paid $6,500 for another program. Then we split another $6,500 when Caleb swore on his dead grandmother's grave that he was ready to get clean. But here's the thing about Caleb. He'd stolen my wedding ring, my mother's jewelry, our TV, Emma's laptop, and even loose change from Emma's piggy bank. The kid had no problem looking a 15-year-old girl in the eye and taking her birthday money. And every time, it was the same story. He was sorry, he was gonna change, he just needed one more chance. So when my husband said they wanted to use Emma's college fund, I actually laughed. Not because it was funny, but because I couldn't believe he was serious. That money came from Emma's dad, who died when she was 6. Her grandparents had been putting money in there since she was born. $180,000 that was meant to get her through whatever college she wanted without debt. Emma's crazy smart, like scary smart. Her teachers keep telling me she could get into Harvard or Yale if she keeps her grades up. But even with scholarships, those schools cost a fortune, and our income's too high to qualify for financial aid. That money was supposed to be her safety net, her ticket to whatever future she wanted. I told my husband absolutely not. The fund was off limits, period. That's when he lost it. Started yelling about how I was choosing money over his son's life, how addiction was a medical condition, how we had a moral obligation to help family. He kept saying medical emergencies come before education, like Emma going to college was some luxury instead of her entire future. The worst part happened 3 days later. I came home from work early and found my husband and Emma sitting at the kitchen table. She looked like she'd been crying, and there were all these pamphlets spread out about the rehab place. My husband had asked her directly if she'd be willing to give up $30,000 from her fund to save her stepbrother's life. Emma just sat there, not saying anything. You could see the guilt eating her alive. She's 15 years old and he's making her choose between looking selfish or giving up her future. When she didn't answer fast enough, he actually called her selfish. To her face. Said she cared more about some fancy college than whether her stepbrother lived or died. I sent Emma upstairs and told my husband we needed to talk outside. I was so angry I was shaking. I told him he had crossed every line possible by putting that decision on a teenager. That money wasn't just mine to give away. It belonged to Emma, to her dad's memory, to her grandparents who'd sacrificed to put it there. But he kept pushing. Said I was being heartless. That if Caleb died, it would be on my hands. Said his ex-wife was telling everyone in the family that I wouldn't help save their son. He even suggested we could just borrow the money and pay it back later, like we had $30,000 just lying around somewhere. The thing is, I've watched this pattern play out over and over. Caleb gets clean for a few weeks, everyone gets hopeful, then he disappears for days and comes back high as a kite. He's stolen from us, lied to us, manipulated us, and every single time, it's the same promise. This time will be different. This time he really wants to get better. But wanting to get better and actually doing the work are two different things. And I'm not about to gamble Emma's entire future on another maybe.